Hey guys, welcome back. And I know you guys are very anxious to start developing our game, and I am as well. But I want to do things a little bit different for this course, and I want to show you some of the awesome tools that Apple gave to us inside Xcode to develop our game. So, sorry, but this lesson we are going to see some of these tools. It's gonna make our life much easier after. So let me teach you about SKAction. SKAction, as you can see here, is this game editor that comes inside Xcode, and it's very similar to the interface builder but for games. So we have all these options here. We're going to be going and using most of them. We have here like the interface inspector that we have in iOS, but the attribute inspectors, but for the game. And it is very, very handy. And I want to show you a little bit of this before we start developing our game. So we have this color sprite, and that's what we're going to be using most. So let me bring one to the scene. And when we put it here, is just this, it normally comes as a red square. And it's very similar to the UI image. So if we go here to test texture, I know most of you guys already delete your spaceship for your document. I put my one back on because I want to show you this. So I put my one back on here on. So if I go back to my game assets, my spaceship is back on here. Sorry guys. You don't need to put it back on. I just want to go over this class. Probably you guys can just watch it. So let's go ahead, and if I go back here to the SKAction, so there I was before, and I can go select this color sprite, and I can drop here, and then I can select it, and it's very similar to the UI image. My spaceship just appears there, and you know I can rotate it, I can scale, I can, if I hold shift, I can scale proportionally. If I don't, then I scale out of proportion. Let's go back to the spaceship. This point here in the middle of the circle is the anchor, and that's the angle. So I can change the anchor on anchor point. It goes from 0, 0, that's this bottom left corner. So I can put here 0, 0. Now the anchor point is on the bottom left corner. 1, 1 is the top right corner. The way I normally think about it is in percentage, 0 to 100%, but from 0 to 1. So 0, 0 is 50%, 0.5, 0.5 is 50%, so in the middle. And this is normally where we're going to use it, unless it's very special case. You can also put it outside of the image. So for example, if you put here on 2, so see it's all the way out here, and why you use this is if you want to rotate it, for example. Look how nice it is to rotate it like this. See, it makes very easy. Okay, so that's the anchor point. Then the size, that's very similar to here, the position. the color, it's very cool. This blend factor in this blend mode, what we can do is we can do some very nice effects, like if the spaceship get hit, and you know sometimes you flash it red, you can use the blend factor, so you can put it here red, and then blend factor you can change it. See, I'm changing it, and then it flashes to red. And then of course you can, if you get a special power, and you can go like blue for some reason. I don't know why would that be, but the invincible, for example, you can flash it blue, for example. There's, to use this blend power, blend mode, you normally have to understand a little bit of Photoshop. So you have alpha, you have the add, subtract, multiply, multiply to, screen, replace. They all work in different ways. So if you have your spaceship has been destroyed on some corners, has some, you know, when you crash it and you break some of the corners, you can use the added or the subtracted or multiply and different ones, and have this different effects. But the one that does the changing of color, the blend one, you can just change the alpha. That's very easy to do it. So you use the color you want to change, the factor, and the mode is alpha. So that's and then you just change the amount of alpha. Then we have the Zposition is the, so if we had more than one here on the screen, so one with the Z, so we see the Z minus 1 goes in the bottom. If we put this as the Z minus 2, now it goes, and the spaceship goes into the bottom. So it's just the position on the Z vector. Then rotation, we already saw that. Then here we are going to see later about physics. Basically we can have constraints that indicators when it hits, when it has contacts. We can have gravity, we can have an impulse, and many different other things. We can't see everything now, it's just an introduction, this class. Empty nodes are quite useful as well. There is two main uses to empty nodes. We can use it to create placeholders on SK scenes where we can call from the code. So I can put it here and not use the spaceship, and then when I call the code I say get that placeholder and put the spaceship there, and then it just substitute for me, because I don't know if this is going to be a spaceship or if this is going to be an asteroid or what this is going to be. I just want this to be a placeholder, because depending on the level, so if this level 1, it's going to be just asteroid, or it's not going to be anything. If it's level 2, it's going to be an enemy. If it's level 3, it's going to be a super enemy. So that's how you do it. Another way to use is you can set parenting. So you can have, let's say this is a cannon. So we have two cannons here that shoot some special bullets, and now you wanted to move all three together. So to make it easier, what we do is we put the texture to be parent of this node. That's going to be the SK node, and you see now it has this little line connecting the two. You can do the same for the spaceship, the parent SK node, and the same for this other one, the parent SK node. Now when I move, all three move together. If I rotate, all three rotate together. If I do the alpha, all three do together, and so on. Another trick we normally use, we create, of course if you move this independently, it's still moving. So you have to move this to move, you have to move, it's difficult, you have to move this to move all three together. A nice trick we normally do is we create everything instead added as the parent SK scene. We normally use a node and put everything inside the node. So when the game finished, you can vanish things and you can release all the objects. So if you delete this, everything gets deleted, so you don't have memory leaks or anything. So that's a nice way to keep your scene organized as well. Okay, let's have a look. Then we have lights, particle emitters. That's really cool. That's during the fogs, or you know, the little particles coming on the back of the spaceship. The labels we already saw. We can create squares. Cameras is really cool to create effects where you can, we're gonna be using when we start our game, just to move around it to show the whole scene where we're gonna be playing, and then focus into our main hero. Then we have some audio, gravity fields, and other things. We're not going to be using everything that here. Actions, move to actions, they are very cool as well. It makes much easier. So we can go here, then we can if we want to create a little, we can just go and call this move to action, and then just say here duration 1 second, and then you can use is in, is out, whatever the function you want to use, and then you say move to 100, and then if you animate it, the physics probably on, we don't want a physics. Let me go back here, turn physics. Oh, sorry. Position is coming to the 0, 0. Oh, sorry, I put move to action. That was my fault. So see, it's moving here. If I grab the head, the head is moving to 0, 0, and 0, 0 is this corner. I got confused with move action. So from 0, 0, let's call move action now, and move action offsets. So from 0, 0, I want to move to 100. So if we call animated, now it's gonna go to 0, 0, and then from 0, 0 to, and something else as well, you know, and have to hit out of the box to take effect. Then it's gonna move to 100. 100 is hard to see. Let's put 1000. That's gonna be easy to see. There you go. So now we see move to 0, 0, move to 1000. And as well, we can resize. So let's put it here in the middle, resize, and you can go resize. Let's put something we can see, 250, 250, and then it goes, and you see resize. And then the cool thing, we can go you say like, oh well, that's cool, but it's not on the game. But we can create the how action, we can export, and we can go and convert to a reference, and that's gonna create action that we can actually call it from the game to execute something. We're gonna be seeing this as well. Then we have other things, so we can rotate it, fade it, play sound. We can create the how animation here. So if we have let me create the animation for you. So I'll put some other assets that I have here. I cannot share these assets with you because they are paid assets. I just wanna show you. So I have this explosion here, and they are sequencing. If I go to my game scene and call that texture, and I put it here as well, it's gonna open a dialog, and I can come here on this corner and select my explosion. So I can select all the items from my explosion. I don't know, I didn't select all at once, but put it there. Put it on the order I want to, tell the duration, and that's gonna create the explosion. So there you go. So at the same, maybe we wouldn't want to move or resize now. We could, as you saw. But now let's just, and as well we can go and click here and say repeat, looping it, and we can do once, twice, 3 times, as many times as we want, or we can do it forever. And I can come here and play, and keeps repeating the animation forever. Again, I can go ahead and export this, convert it to reference, and that's going to create an animation that I can call and use it programmatically as well. So this is SKAction, or at least an introduction. We are going to be using this quite a lot. I just want to get you a little bit more used to it. I just want to show you a little bit more of the options we have here on the panel. I don't want you to get too afraid of it. There is, like I told you, a lot of options, a lot of things we can do, but we are going to go and see one by one. We're going to be seeing how we edit an SKAction, how we call it from our code, how we use it, and how we make our game in a much easier way. As you probably saw before, many people create for loops, read these exposures one by one manually. You don't need to do that. Apple gave us this amazing tool that does it for us. We don't need to create loops. We don't need to code this kind of things anymore. This is all done graphically. It creates a class for us. If we go here, create the reference, I'm gonna create this explosion, and then it's gonna create a new file. We're gonna edit here, and if I go here in my files, so it creates my actions. Inside my actions, create my explosion, and then I can call it programmatically, and my animation is here. It could have, like you see, all these frames. It could have movement. It could have jump. It could be a very complex action, and I could do all graphically, export it to something like this. It would be all here, and then I could just call it. So if it was a jump action, when I hit up, my character would jump. If it was a hide action, when I hit down, my character would hide. If it was an idle action, when I stop hitting the keyboard, my character would stay standing with the idle animation, or whatever it is that we need to have to our animation. So that's what I had for us on this class. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learned something new. I know we are not doing our game yet, but with this knowledge we just learned today, our game will come out much easier than would without it. So just a little patient. The game is coming very soon and will be very cool. So I'll see you on the next class. Let me know what you're thinking. I want to hear your feedback. I'm very interested to know what are you thinking, if I'm going too fast, if I'm going too slow, if I'm being too boring, or whatever it is. Just let me know. I want to hear from you, because I'm always improving, always trying to do the best that I can to bring the best course that I can to you. So see you in the next class, and have fun.